Hello Professor, this is David Pratt, and I'm recording for CST 236, milestone number 5, I believe. I'm doing the checkout process, so here you can see the cart. I've got a couple of items added to my cart already. If I click on order, it takes me to this page, which just has a couple of populated fields. I can click on change. I won't do that right now, but I'll let you take a look at that. Those are pretty inconsequential to the actual requirements for this milestone. I just wanted to add a credit card and an address to make it more realistic, and it was fun for me to kind of get to challenge myself that way. But then if I click on order here, you can see the orders were handled successfully. If we look at the cart, it shouldn't change from this even if I refresh the page. So if I click on that, oh, it actually did. It took those 2 items out of the cart, which is great. If we look at the orders history now, I'm logged in as user 21, and it's 1936 was a test run that I did before this, so you should see something appear above that when I refresh this. So we've got order history, and you can see that history does get a new one added into there in 1947. If we go into details, let me get rid of this really quick. But if we go into details, again, should see a new one pop up, or a new couple pop up at the top with an order history ID of number 12. And that's the two products that we had in there, number 2 and number 7, and they're added. And those were added before as a test run. So, and then if we go into orders, lastly, we'll look here, and we've got a new one, order number 35, added 1947, and it has not been delivered yet. So, you can see how that's working. So let's go into the code and see what we're doing here. We'll start with the show cart, which is that if we go back here and add this to the cart, and then go into the cart, this is the button that we're talking about right here. That order button is the highlighted one right here. It's actually just an anchor tag with the hrefs to finalize order. So if I go over to finalize order, this is those 2 forms that I was talking about. They get the primary credit card and primary address, and then populate the fields based on those. Again, I'm going to leave those for you to discover on your own. And, I'm not going to go into that because, like I said, it's inconsequential. You've got a button down here that submits this form to the order handler, and then we've got the order handler here. This is the real meat of the application that we're talking about here. So we're instantiating all of the classes that we need, so the cart, the orders, the credits card, and the address, because you can see here, if we go to my orders, we're actually storing an address ID and a credit card ID so that we could actually show people what credit card and address they used and where they delivered it to. And actually address has in it the delivered to first name, so you can see that. And if we go back here to our code, so we instantiated all those classes. We're grabbing the username, we've got the date, we're just setting delivered equal to 0 for now. I didn't. That one is to handle when you deliver it. This, for the purposes of this application, it won't change from 0, just because, unless I do it myself, just because it's a limited application that's not actually on the website and on the web, and nobody's actually using it. We're grabbing the primary credit card and getting it as an associated array, and then same for the address. If we move on down here, we're grabbing what I said right here. We're moving it from the cart to the orders table. So we're instantiating a new item, so we grab the ID, the address, the credit card ID, and then the date, and delivered, which we set to equal 0. We've got then adding it to the orders history table. I just did this immediately, didn't wait any amount of time or have it be delivered or anything like that, again because of the limit of doing a practice application that's not actually on the web, that nobody's actually using. If it was a real application, I would probably move this to another handler that would happen asynchronously outside when delivered was set to true. So if the item was actually delivered, somebody at the doorstep scans the box or whatever, it would send a signal to the database to set delivered to be 0, or to be 1. And as soon as that happened, this would actually fire and add it to the order history table. Again, because of the limits of doing it this way and not actually having a real working application. That's just what I'm doing, is doing it right here. So then we're testing that order ID here, testing whether or not we added it to the orders. I didn't add a test for add to order history, which I could add actually just right here and just do an and. There is no, we'll do it or. There is no order history ID. Oops. ID, and that will just test whether or not those things actually got inserted correctly. I have those, as we'll see in a minute, I have those set up so that it returns the ID, the insert ID from the connection, or it returns false. So we're getting all the items from the cart here based on the user ID, and then looping through all of them, grabbing the product ID and quantity, adding it to the details, or instantiating a details item, and then adding it to order details. And then again, same thing, testing if it wasn't added to order details. And then here we're doing the same exact thing we did up here, but for order history. So we're just we're creating a new order details item. I used the same two models, order details and order items, for both. The only difference had to be this order ID here for the order item, because I didn't store IDs in the model under the, so the item wouldn't have order ID in it. So I had to put order ID as a separate parameter there. But I used the same two models, didn't feel like I needed to remake the models again and just do all of the same. It would be all of the same fields, just a couple more added in there, or would be for different. So for this one, it says order ID right here. It's actually the order history ID. Or I'm sorry, I'm tucking down here. Order history ID, the parameter name, and as we'll see in a second over here, it's actually order ID is the parameter name, but I'm using it as if it was an order history ID. And then we're just adding it to the orders history table, just like we did, and then deleting it from the cart, and then sending it back to index with ordered products successfully as the message. Here in order business, all of these just call their same function from order data, and order data here the only thing that I changed since last time was passing in this connection item, which allows us to use the same connection, making it atomic, and making sure that we're using the same connection, and a couple of them have it set so that it doesn't commit it immediately. It instead rolls back if things fail. So it's a lot of similar code here, just different queries like before. Let's see if I can find one that is worth talking about. There's like a couple in here, like this one, that actually have two queries. So we're deleting it from the orders table and deleting it from the order details table if we wanted to delete an order. It's all similar ideas. We've just got a bunch because it's all about orders, order history, and order details, and order history details. So, but yeah, that's my application. And like I said, there's a lot more to it because I can actually go, if I hit order here and go to change, you've got a list of all your credit cards, and if I click use, we're going back here. And if I click change on this one and use that, it's going back here and it's displaying all those new information there. So, and then you're ordering it, and it ordered it successfully. And if we go into order history, or actually let's go into orders here and refresh this, you can see that now the order address ID and credit card ID are different. So, but yeah, that's my application. Thank you so much for all your help. Hope you have a great one.